Manish Sabharwal, Chairman co-founder of Teamlease, joining us. Mr. Sabharwal, hi, good afternoon and welcome on board. You've said that the Congress's Nyay is not workable. Please bring out its difference vis-a-vis the current farmer scheme that's already in place.
I mean, there's an old adage in politics, you campaign in poetry, but you govern in prose. I think this is wrong from both a poetry and a prose perspective. Poetry because it misdiagnoses the problem. India's problem isn't unemployment, it is employed poverty. Most people have a job, they just don't have the wages they want. And I think it's, replacing self-exploitation or employed poverty with income without work is wrong, because people get much more from work than income. They get strength, self-esteem, courage, identity. The poetry is wrong because it'll just destroy the fiscal math. We can't afford between 3.6 lakh crores or 7.2 lakh crores. Our allocation to primary education is 52,000 crores by the central government. So you will convert a high growth, low inflation economy into a low growth, high inflation economy if you go ahead with this program. And the third is just the plumbing of the program. How will you identify the 20 poor households? On what basis? Does real wages count or nominal wages count? Do assets count? What about the people? So it's an unworkable scheme from a plumbing perspective. It is an unfinanceable scheme from a fiscal perspective. And it is the wrong scheme from just the problems that India's labor market has.
What are the risks of implementing this scheme to macro stability, inflation, probably even productivity?
Well, inflation will take off. I mean, currently the inflation has been slayed from whatever 10, 11% to 3% through a combination of RBI's monetary policy, through a combination of fiscal discipline. If fiscal discipline goes away, there is nothing that the Monetary Policy Committee will be able to do to keep down inflation. Inflation expectations will rise, and India's current sweet spot of currency strengthening, inflation being low, growth being strong, will go away. So my sense is that income without work, which is not linked to productivity, which is not financed in a sustainable manner, will take the India story back by decades. I think we need to be very careful with these kind of experiments.
Okay, but what according to you is the best way to address the real problem of unemployment versus paid poverty that such schemes speak to?
India needs to do formalization, urbanization, industrialization, financialization and human capital. The 6 million new enterprises that have come after GST, the 35 million new social security payers in the last 5 years are part of India's formalization process. Financialization is India's credit to GDP ratio is only 50%, Arunachal is 1%, Bihar is 16%. So we need good financialization, we need good urbanization, we need skill development, we need apprenticeship plan explosion. We need to empower people to earn incomes. We need more productive firms, we need more productive geographies, we need more productive individuals. I mean, Karnataka produces the same GDP as UP with 1/3 the number of people. Maharashtra produces the same GDP as Pakistan with half the number of people. I mean, Britain produces the same GDP as India with 5% of our people. So I think the only long-term solution is productivity, and that comes from formalization, financialization, industrialization, urbanization, and skill development.
You believe power can be eradicated through boosting productivity and making the necessary transition across skill businesses?
No, productivity is about 5 transitions: farm to non-farm, rural to urban, subsistence self-employment to wage employment, informal enterprises to formal enterprises, and school to work. I mean, agriculture, 50% of the labor force produces 14% of our GDP. In IT, it's 0.7% of our labor force, and they produce 8% of our GDP, so they're very productive. Now, we have 6 lakh villages, 2 lakh of those villages have less than 200 people. We only have 52 cities with more than 1 million people. China has 375. So my sense is there is no, this Diet Coke approach to poverty reduction, where you want the sort of taste without the calories, does not exist. I mean, India is on a path to higher productivity. We must stay the course of fiscal discipline. We must stay the course of structural change. And I think we have just crossed UK, we will be the 2nd or 3rd largest economy if we stay with the path. If you do goofy economics where you destroy fiscal discipline, raise inflation, you will crater investments and employment creation.
Thanks so much, sir, for taking out time for us. Always good and interesting to get your thoughts on the channel.